live.
Oh, hi, we're live. Good morning. Welcome to our fourth episode of What the Hell Does That Mean? I'm here with my co-host Sarah Geltz, and then we have the wonderful Justin Core here from the Core Group. And today we're going to be talking about some kind of real estate trends, what to do when buying and selling a home, and getting some expert opinions on some of the things that are going on in today's society. But first off, we want to take the time because last weekend we were able to participate and really take a big role in the Make-A-Wish of Central and Northern Florida Wishmakers Ball. And it's the Hamlin and Associates Wishmakers Ball. And last year we raised over $1 million, which was unheard of. And then this year we set a goal at 1.25 and blew through that. And a lot of that was thanks to the support of the Core Group. Not only were they actively involved, bought a table, donated that night, but they also donated 2 amazing packages to Hawaii. One, and then we asked for a second because it raised over 10 grand each package.
Put him on the spot right there.
Put him on the spot.
Pretty
He
much.
had to say yes. But just that donation right there raised over $20,000 all in one night. So we really appreciate your support to Make-A-Wish and to our firm and everything. But we're happy to have you here today.
Thank you.
And so we just kind of want to have a talk about real estate.
Can I say something first?
Sure.
I think you're underestimating your involvement for Make-A-Wish. And I don't know if everybody knows that. Am I right? I mean, it's been probably months and months and months of involvement. So
Yes.
it wasn't just a night's event for you.
Yeah.
So
Thank
really,
you.
with Jess at the helm is why we've raised
Yeah.
over $1 million.
Well, thank you guys. It's a group effort, and you know we can't do it without our supporters. So I mean, that night was just incredible. I still have like jitters and in awe that we raised that much. And you know, of course, 10 minutes after it, all our top sponsors said, "And next year 1.5," so everyone watching can buy a table.
That wasn't me. I don't.
Who knows? Hopefully, we'll get there. We will get there. I know we will. But so real estate, like right now, the housing market, it's kind of changing from last year and taking off. So tell us kind of what you're seeing, what you think, and what people can expect if they want to buy or sell a house.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, it's a really interesting time in real estate. We've had, quite a few years of a ton of growth in the market, appreciation-wise. I feel like we're coming to a point where there's a little more stability. We're still seeing a lot of appreciation, but not at the speed in which we were, which I think is probably overall healthy for the market. Still very tight on inventory, so things that come on the market, price accordingly, are selling very quickly. So it's great on the seller side. On the buyer side, we definitely see a lot of challenges, a lot of multiple offer situations, and this is really in every part of town, every price point. We're seeing that as well. We're seeing a lot more higher end properties move more regularly, which is, I think, also great. A lot more money, equity coming into the market, and those just because of the financing available for them, etc. So it's a fun time for sure. I don't have a spare moment, as you know. I walked in 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Right. We thought he might not get here because of this housing boom, apparently, in Central Florida.
But buyers are changing too. I mean, that's, one thing that I've noticed even when I was shopping for our house, we did a lot more research. There was a lot more tools available to us, so I knew exactly, I could go online and look at the house that I wanted, go on a virtual tour. Almost everyone that I looked at was, they'd go on the market, it'd be pending a day later. So what are your buyers coming to you like? I mean, are they more informed? Do they come to you with more information?
There's a lot more information out there, which is good and bad. It just depends if you got the right information. And not only necessarily having the information, but knowing what to do with it when you have it. So, and it's important to kind of look at it from both the seller perspective as to how to appeal to that buyer, and then on the buyer side, how to help that buyer craft an understanding of what it is they're
Well, and I think that's the
working with.
most important thing about working with a realtor, because it's very easy to go online or go on Zillow or whatever it is and see something, but you don't necessarily understand the ins and outs of contracting, making offers, if something's pending. If you're already working with somebody, you shouldn't go work with somebody else. It's really important, I think, whether you're a buyer or seller, to have a realtor involved in the process.
I think the other thing with Zillow, the Zestimate factor, which everybody gets so excited about.
I didn't this month. Mine went down on my house.
Okay. Well, I just came from an appointment this morning. It was interesting. We look at it, and I often don't look at it before we sit at these appointments because it really doesn't play a factor in how I'm going to estimate the real home value. But it was interesting because they've been on the market and they, in the last month, have had an $86,000 improvement in their estimate. Well, did the house really,
Wow.
did the house really increase in value that much? Or was there just one sale that was impactful?
So does that pull from comps in the area?
It's pulling for comps, it's pulling from a variety. I mean, it's just got a massive algorithm that kind of, predicts what their estimated value is. And so all it really is a snapshot in time with that algorithm that produces a number. And so it's important, and this is where we come in and say, okay, well, that may be a factor, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, but where's the market going? Because we're not selling for yesterday's values. They impact us for sure. But, with that extent, where that home is listed, that $86,000 should have no real impact on what we're going to do when we price that home.
So where is the market going now?
I think we're, in my opinion, we're moving into a steady, probably more of a traditional 4, 5, 6% appreciation, which will be much more sustainable, right? I mean, I think it's been a challenge in the past few years, especially when you're seeing, I think 2 years ago, we had about 13% in our area improvement. Last year, about 6 or 7. Things that might be overpriced today or seem overpriced are a great deal 6 months from now.
Right.
Which makes it a tough time, and you really don't want to, I don't think long term in the real estate market, work under that mindset, that I can overpay today because it'll be fine tomorrow. That's probably an unhealthy.
Well, we saw when that happened,
We've
what
seen it
happened to
before.
our whole economy
Right.
and
The
the housing
bubble.
market. So we're hoping to never get back to that. What do you think about rentals in the area? Are you seeing an increase in rentals, an increase in home buying? Kind of what's the
rental
trend
market's
going?
as tight as from my understanding, we don't do a lot in rentals, but I just know from people that are come down here looking for a rental before they find their permanent home, are having a lot of difficulty finding rental opportunities. It's interesting too, we look at, and a lot of things I use to look at really the overall gist of the market is really that rent versus buy index. And there's some big indexes across the country that do that, but really all they're doing is comparing if I rent versus I buy, what is the affordability, is really kind of the key word there. In our market here, we're still in a buy, meaning the rental rates are exceeding, from an affordability standpoint, the cost of purchasing.
And mortgage
There's other
rates are still
factors
pretty good. So qualifying, I mean, if you can, it makes a lot more sense, I think, to build some equity and have something at the end of the day.
Good or bad, we haven't had a big problem with our buyers qualifying. So I don't know. I think there for a while we got very tight and we've loosened up a lot of those criteria on the financing side. But it seems that if you want to buy and have at least your down payment requirement, there's different programs out there for different situations.
And you guys, that's a lot of what a realtor can also help with. They know they want to go, but you guys have a variety of lenders that you can say this person's going to be able to help you because you're a W-2, and this person might be able to help you better because you own your business, and this person a VA loan. So I mean, you kind of know a bunch of lenders, so you're able to guide them in that situation too, right?
So I always advise buyers, whether they're working with us or anybody else, I think it's important to find your agent and then work with the relationships your agent has with different lenders. Doesn't mean you can't shop around, because we can help you find 3 or 4 guys that work very differently. Banks, direct lenders, mortgage brokers, right? They can all shop around and offer you a different product. But what I find, at least from a process standpoint, the relationship that I have, because I send 10 buyer leads a month to this particular lender, gives us more teeth, if there's problems.
Right. And the other thing that I think your brokerage does very well, and I want to give a direct shout out to Michelle, is you have a transaction coordinator. There are so many things that can go wrong in the process, or just hiccups from buying, selling, whatever. You actually have a dedicated person in your brokerage that kind of walks it through start to finish to help catch it with the title company, with the lenders, with, whether it's inspections, appraisals, and not every brokerage does that. And I think it makes a big difference when we're working with your group, or just, I think that's thinking ahead, and I think I wish every brokerage would do something like that.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She
No,
is
I mean,
amazing.
I think overall it really is that customer service now. I mean, you guys are using a lot of technology, but not losing the customer service to the technology, which is a hard balance. You know, everything,
Yeah.
people are instant gratification right now. I mean, we're on our phones. Like, if I want to see something,
there
I
an
want
app
to see
for
it right
that?
now. Is there an app? Who can
Yeah.
I call at midnight when I fire up and start needing to look things up? And I think you guys do a great job at that with your coordination. So that's really something that I think sets you guys apart from some other brokerages.
Probably one of the most difficult things to do, I think, in terms of scale, right, is 'cause it's easy if you have one client that you're focusing on, you communicate however they want to communicate. But we call it the platinum rule, not working with them how you would want to be worked with, but how they want to be worked with, right? And so how they want to be communicated with. And so generally as a part of our intake process, you prefer to be called, you prefer to be texted or emailed, and it's not perfect because there's a lot of people involved in a transaction, but at least it helps, facilitate in a way that's easy for you. To talk about Michelle a little bit, she is a beast. If you're out there, Michelle,
She's
Maybe
one of
we
our-
don't
thank you.
have. in a
She's
good
one of our
way.
10 watching right now.
Yes.
But she told us this week we're in the middle of prime time, and she's finding capacity, right? And so that's part of our team's, growth is good, but it's the challenges that come with it is being able to maintain that communication in a way that's sustainable as you continue to add more agents and more transactions and stuff. Y'all have experienced the
Yes,
same,
we
maybe.
have.
I see.
Experience that?
Yes, we have.
Well, it's kind of as it moves further and further away from the person that started it.
Yeah,
It gets hard to make sure that every day you're doing the touch you used to do when you're like, these are mine.
Right.
And I know I'm doing a good job. You're trusting more
Someone
and
else
more
doing
as
the
you're
same thing.
handing off. Sarah's really good at delegation.
No, I'm not. Everybody knows I'm not.
yeah. No, I know you're not.
Yeah, I know. I let it go when steam actually starts coming out of my ears. Somebody takes something from me.
But Michelle is a key part of our brokerage, just in terms of what we wanted to create, because, and maybe it was selfish that I'm not a details person, as you've probably both experienced from the emails you send me that I kind of respond to.
This.
But so she's just taken that area, which is from transaction for contract to close, that whole process, and takes it from our agents as best as possible.
And all your agents use her.
We require everybody to use, even if you think you're the best at it.
Yeah.
Michelle's better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, she really is.
Michelle might be getting like 16 job offers after this.
We did not say her last name. You can't find her.
She's on our website. Fail.
But I mean, you're overall just I know you kind of position yourself in the way you built the brokerage as using all of the available. I mean, you use social media very well. You have realtors that have fantastic Facebook presence. I said that about Anne Marie the other day. You have people that are doing the lives or your sneak peeks or when you're out taking pictures. And that's the other thing I really like the way you do things. You have a consistent look to all your listings. You can pull up a core listing and you know it's a core listing just by the way the pictures are taken.
Yep.
So
And now no one can steal those doors.
right. Because
They're the
Oh,
doors.
trademark,
protected.
yes.
Yes, you protected your doors. Your
Core door.
logo,
The core
your
door.
door is trademarked and protected, so no one can take that.
Thank you, Kendrick Law.
But so, just quick synopsis. If someone's buying a home and wants to buy a home, what's the easiest? They should go right to the realtor, right?
That's my recommendation. Lenders are going to say to them, and I think there's a lot of gain when you've got people that are working together as a team around you. So, however you get there, I would say that's a goal. When you start splicing different pieces of the puzzle together, everybody's learning how each other works that whole time, and it's not fair to me, in my opinion, that the buyer would have to go through that part of the process, being a guinea pig to some extent from how
Right.
people work, because everybody definitely doesn't work the same.
I think also, from what I would see, is if they go to you first and they're saying this is the type of home I want, you can give them more of a realistic expectation on can you buy it for that in this area, if it's even worth going through the process, or let's revamp what
Right.
we're thinking in your home purchase.
When we try to just being the first line of defense, right, to the buying process, I really don't want to be deep in your financials. I mean, that's just not our objective. But we want to talk deep enough about it to know that, you know,
5
are we
acres in
moving?
downtown is out. I mean,
Well, correct, and if it is, let's figure out how to make it happen. But if we need to, do you have a financial planner that you work with? If not, maybe we need to engage with one, because it's more than just buying a house. I mean, it's usually, for most people, it's
The biggest
30 or
purchase they make,
40% of their overall monthly budget. So let's make sure we've got all of these other factors in line, especially first-time homebuyers. So oftentimes they know what they pay for rent, and that's great. But guess what? We've got maintenance that's coming involved now, right? We've got all these other factors, part of owning a home, that we really need to be thinking about. And so getting us involved with your financial planner, if you have one, accountant, whoever's looking after your
Attorneys.
financial picture. I guess if we got to get the attorneys involved, we can. You know, and kind of having an all-in, you know, approach around your overall financial picture as it relates to the home.
And then if they're looking to sell a home, you guys do complimentary come out, evaluate the home, and do a what we think this house is worth, correct?
We probably wouldn't be hired much if we didn't. That's kind of a somewhat of a requirement. And, you know, oftentimes that first walkthrough, like the appointment I had this morning, first time we've seen the home, we can stalk it online, you know, you can look at Zillow pictures and all the good stuff. But until you've walked through it and seen what it is the buyer's going to be seeing, it's impossible to put a hard line, this is what your home's worth, kind of price point on it. So that first appointment for us is often really just understanding the overall picture, what are your objectives with the sale, why are you selling, it all plays into, you know, into why we're meeting in the
How
first
fast,
place.
how much, how everything. Well, we really thank you for your time today. There's a great listing in Maitland, if anyone's interested.
Yes.
It's an amazing listing in a gated community.
it might be hers.
It might be my own house. But thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Tune in next time and comment below if you have any topics you really want to hear us talk about, because we're
Always looking
for content to come in, and because we want you guys to get the most out of it. So we really appreciate your time and have a wonderful afternoon.
Bye.
Thank you.